came into contact with this guy, and so many people have so many insightful things that they really saw, like who Aaron Meir really was, and that we didn't maybe possibly understand exactly what was going on with this guy, that it wasn't so simple with him. So many things that people said tonight really make me think, and these are thoughts that have already been resonating within my own mind for the last few weeks. I heard Yisrael Daiber say that Aaron Meir was like this innocent person, and it's interesting. He was like this innocent, like child, basically. And he would always tell me that. He would come out of nowhere and he'd tell me I'm an innocent child, and like you can't expect this of me. I'm innocent. I'm a child, and I'd be like, I saw this guy last night. He was a maniac. Like he was in the key car. He was pounding beers. He was talking to every girl that walked by. He was unstoppable. He's you know. But at the same point in time, like he was innocent. He was so innocent, and he was a very simple person. He was a very true person. And how so? First off, we have to explain, understand who's Aaron Meir. We have to understand what does it mean to be in Sfas Yer Kodesh. Like I recently made the move down to Yerushalayim, and it's very nice to be back up in Sfas Yer Kodesh. But basically, like, what's the thing? There's so many things that set Sfas. If you live here, if you stayed here, there's so many things that set this place apart from any other place in the world. One of those things is the fact that basically, like, Hashgacha Pratis is not a theory in Sfas. Hashgacha Pratis is something that's like Begiloi, like it's rattling, it's nerve shaking. How much you can sense that the divine is, that God is interacting. God has His hand on the button. God is guiding your life, and there's so many coincidences that you're like. It could drive a person a little bit mad. Another thing that's very special about Sfas Yer Kodesh is that here we don't have to fit into a particular kind of mold. There's so many different characters here, and everybody has their own expression, their own way of being, and their own way of serving God, and their own way of dealing with each other and expressing these things. And a guy like Aaron Meir was basically like, he was that to the T. He didn't fit into the box, and he didn't want to fit into the box. And if he saw that you were trying to go and you were trying to cram yourself into some sort of peg, and you were trying to define yourself by somebody else's standards, he could become very abrasive. And he would point that out to you. Aaron was a guy who like we said, he would like cut to the core, straight off the bat. He had absolutely no problems telling you just what he was thinking about something. Not so many of us can be so honest all the time. And I think that's something that, with measure, obviously we could maybe all strive to apply to our day-to-day lives, just to be so real. So you'd see this guy, Aaron Meir, and what does it mean that he was so innocent? We said that basically someone could tell him something and he would take it 100% to heart. A guy would tell him, you're a tzaddik. Somebody told Aaron Meir he was a tzaddik nister. I swear, for 8 months, he's going around, he's telling everybody he's a tzaddik nister. And I would scream at him, Aaron Meir, you're not a tzaddik. Like, did you learn the Tanya? And I'd open up the Tanya with him, I'd explain to him, like, who's a Russia? Who's a Beinoni? And he'd be like, but this guy said I'm a tzaddik nister. It has to be like.
So he straight up was a tzaddik nister. Come on.
So,
it's not hidden.
He would take things like
this.
It says
It was hidden till he started.
36 hidden tzaddikim. They say in the final generation of Galus that the tzaddikim themselves don't know who they are. That they think that they're never in a million years, but they think that they're tzaddikim because they're so honest and sincere with their avodah, and they know where they're holding, that it never enters their mind for a minute that they're a tzaddik. I'm not saying that my brother is a 36 tzaddikim.
You're not saying he's not either.
I'm not saying he's not either.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that, meaning the darkness and the game of Galus reach such a level where the people that are undercover don't know that they're undercover themselves. That's how stealth Golas and Gola is happening right now.
Yeah.
Where you literally, it's all mixed up. It's all happening simultaneously from the highest levels to the lowest levels. Everything's connected. Everything it's complete chaos and system together, like Hashem wants it.
He was like this guy that, you know, on the one hand he could hear something like that and he could take it to heart. And just like you said, you could see that he was like struggling with the idea. Is it possible? Basically, he was wondering like, is it possible that like I'm this like amazing person that I'm like basically like on a completely separate realm of existence than everyone else that I come into contact with on a daily basis. Even regardless of the fact that I am currently struggling with something so simple, like should I go daven with a minion today? Should I do this or that? And you could see that he believed. Aaron Meir was a guy, as much as I'd like to say that I believe, and I do, Aaron Meir was a guy who believed with 100% certainty, with 100% faith, with the knowledge even. He had a knowledge that Tzaddikim are real, and the Torah is real, and the Eibishter is real, and that things that people did matter. And Aaron Meir would go around calling everybody a chassid. And the reason that Aaron Meir called everybody a chassid is because Aaron Meir was a chassid. Aaron Meir was to the degree that we all need to understand that basically like I could struggle in my day-to-day life and I could wonder, maybe I'm not fit for this lifestyle, maybe I'm not doing my best and possibly I need to tone it down. Maybe I need to change my belief system to fit my actions. And here you have a guy who couldn't change his belief system because by him it was knowledge. And even if he couldn't always act accordingly, you could tell that he really knew. You know, so many different things that people would tell him, it's a segula to do this or a segula to do that.
Tell him what you did.
Where you went. I told him that it was. He told me that he didn't have enough energy and he felt burned out. So I told him, Meir, it's a segula to wake up early, and you should wake up before the sun comes up. As the sun's coming up, you should be saying Kriya Shema, and you should go about your day. So
Which was the
he didn't
first
want
thing
to
on
participate.
his
At
to-do
first,
list.
he did not want to participate, and I told him he needed to write everything. I gave him like this. You have to like if you can't stay organized, you need to like make yourself. You have to write everything down. You have to do the same thing, even if it doesn't make sense. You have to like keep in order, no matter what. And like for whatever reason, like he believed an idiot like me, and he wrote everything down on this list. And I would go pound on his door at like. Sorry, Zolman. I'd go pound on Zolman Traxler's door at like 5:30 in the morning.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And no one would open. So I'd pound on the door at 5:35, and nobody would open. And I'd stand there, and Aaron Meir would come out, and he'd open the door, and he'd yell at me, and he'd go back to bed. And I'd go over to his bed, and I'd drag him out of there. And he'd go with me to I'd take him, we'd go down together, we'd go to a kever. I didn't know whose kever it was. I just thought it was like some awesome place, some tripped out place to be in Svas and go daven early in the morning when nobody was looking. We'd go there and we would sit and we would learn and we would talk and hang out and daven. And
Which kever?
eventually it came to be that no longer was I the guy going to get up Aaron Meir. Aaron Meir was the guy coming and standing over me. Like, what's wrong with you, dummy? Why are you laying in bed? Don't you know you have to get out of bed in the morning, you have to go daven in the morning, you have to do this and
That's
that.
which kever?
He would go to the I'm going to say his name wrong, the Baal Yisurim. I had no idea who this was, and I went down there the other day. After we went, Solomon and a couple guys and I went to Aaron Meir's kever and said some Tehillim. So we went up there, and someone asked me, who's the Baal Yisurim? I don't know who he is, so I looked him up, and I found out that actually the Baal Yisurim was a chassid of the Alter Rebbe, and I believe the Alter Rebbe sent him here to Eretz Yisrael, and he went to Hebron, and basically I think in English his name means like this guy, the man of suffering, like a master of owner of like pain or sorrow or something like this.
His name is Meir.
His name is also Meir. And he was a chassid of the Alter Rebbe, and Aaron Meir was a chassid to the utmost. And Chatal Tevas, Ben Baruch, just like the Baal Tanya. So it's not so simple.
Or
Meir also is Schneewer.
Yeah.
But this guy, the Baal Yisrael, isn't it right? I haven't, to be honest, I haven't gone.
Pastor Rebbe's brother.
It's directly.
I haven't seen the cable.
Next to Reb Zalman
I just ended up going.
Yeah.
Someone near him is on the cable. It says Baal Yisrael, right?
The
Yeah,
cover
Blei
directly
Balisar.
above it, there's a
And
big
he
cover.
used to go with the
He used to go there in Gavin, facing over
brought him there
towards
once.
this direction. where he would, so
He used to go often. Or he was
a couple times a week, we would go there early in the mornings, and yeah,
that's
it's pretty wild.
now we're really pushing the lines, huh?
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy.
The night is still young.
It's crazy, but it's fine, so it's normal. And
And you should take it to the results make all the time.
No,
yeah, he was a wild man. You know,
he's right
man was a guy
under.
that
Meir is right under Reb Levi Yisrael.
Right, it's right. It's right there. Blei Balisar.
Mamish, if you like,
Mamish
if
right
you would
below.
draw a line, you're pretty much there.
Yeah.
From Lake Valley Yisrael to Armour Smith.
2 minutes from now.
You see like a few rows, like
A few rows down.
Look, the guy would run to the Arizal mikvah twice on Shabbos.
twice.
Twice on Shabbos day. He'd go by.
No, tell them the story.
Dude, he would go there. It was
Tell the
freezing
story.
outside. I don't want to tell the whole story, but he
Part of it. Part of
For the living, you don't
Yeah.
don't include the other people. But say about the guy, yeah.
You went in the mikvah, you came out, you guys are about to
This
leave.
guy went down to the Arizal mikvah. It's freezing outside. He begged us to go with him. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to the Arizal mikvah. I have no interest. He's like, come on, we gotta go. So we go down there. He dunks 26 times in the Arizal mikvah. It's freezing outside. And he starts to walk out, and he grabs his towel, and he looks at me, and he looks at the other guy that came down with this Reuben. His towel back down, he goes back to the mikvah and dunks another 26 times. It was freezing outside. I couldn't go in once.
It was freezing in the
I didn't have
mikvah
the
too.
stones for it. I know the stones for it. The guy went 52 times.
How long was it?
What's the purpose of 26?
Hashem Leviathan.
Felt it, man.
Just felt it. He just did it. Just like that. He would go. He would run down there. He'd go every time. He wouldn't want to go do other things. He wouldn't want to sit in the base medrash and learn all day. But he would run to the mikvah. And he'd go table. He wouldn't go any other place else. He'd go to the Arizal mikvah. He's a heavy guy.
Yeah, a lot of energy.
Had a lot of energy. And so I think
He wanted to go
so we have
everywhere.
to say, everyone
No matter
said that we
what
have to
time.
say something practical. So what can we take? I said a lot of nice things about my friend, but what can we practically take out of this? So I say practically, what can we take out of it is that all of us, every single day, no matter where we're holding,
Go twice a day to the
we,
Arizona.
even if you gotta call a cab, a helicopter, or
You know, our man would love to be here right now.
but seriously, I think that
He loves parties. Sorry, Leib, go ahead.
I think that everyone has we're all holding on our own place, and we're all dealing with our own issues, our own challenges, whether they're mental or physical or spiritual,
We're all up above.
all of the above, all at once.
Plus,
Maybe you don't have so much money in your wallet, I don't know. But regardless of these things, regardless of where we're holding and what we do the day before, you have to believe that you can still come back and you can do better the next day. And that one thing doesn't necessarily, nothing is stopping you. Nothing is stopping you from serving God, and nothing is stopping you from taking the next step in the right direction.